If you feel like you can't work and you can't focus and you can't do anything, you can't be productive because you're feeling a certain way, because you don't feel good, I'm gonna give you a couple tips that you can apply right now in your life that will make it easier. I used to not be able to do anything, not even work, when I was overwhelmed with emotions, when I felt very sad or very angry, when I didn't know what to do with the emotions I felt like I couldn't do anything. I felt like my brain didn't work because my emotions were so present. It was either I am rational and I think through and I go through life just in my head, or I have this huge pool of emotions that is just waiting for me to dive in and I do not know how to get out of it. There's something that happens when we become aware, when we are more awake. That is that we allow ourselves to feel. Probably for the first time in our lives, we allow ourselves to feel. And because we haven't learned how to process our emotions and we haven't had this adult figure of a healthy person or a healthy, emotional, mature person, then we don't know what to do with all of this. Most people, especially men, are shut down from their emotions. And so when they become adults and they start to bring awareness to their lives and they want to change their lives and they start suddenly feeling, and all these things come back, all these memories come back, and all these unspoken things come back, what do you do with it? And there's a moment in my own life where I felt like I couldn't do anything. For a whole year, I couldn't even work. For a whole year, I was so overwhelmed with the amount of things coming up from my childhood, from even before I was born, from things that I wasn't even aware of that were coming back to me awareness and that were stored in the body. Because the thing with emotion is it's stored inside of your body. If you don't feel it, it's not gonna go away, it's gonna get stuck inside, and so that is going to be the cause of a lot of tension. For example, if you have tension in your shoulders, in your back, if you feel like you're very tense in your legs as well, whatever tension and contraction there is in your body, that's emotion that you didn't allow yourself to feel in the moment. Things happen to us during childhood, during our lives, that sometimes it's a shock, sometimes we can't process that in the moment, so it gets stored and we go through life and sometimes we get triggered. Something happens and that triggers that old memory from that moment that we haven't processed, and it comes back and it's like, oh my god, I have the choice of I either look at it and feel it or I suppress it back. So it can be very overwhelming when you allow yourself to feel, when you start to feel again more deeply, and when you don't run away from your emotions but decide to feel them. It can be overwhelming and feel very unsafe. What do I do with these emotions? How do I make it stop? Am I going to feel this way my whole life? What happened to me is that it came in waves. I felt sad for so many days. I was in a deep hole of depression, and then I had an anxiety, and then it was just, I can describe it as this deep sea of emotions that I was just feeling like I couldn't even swim in. I was drowning in those emotions and I was waiting for someone to pick me up and to bring me back to the surface. And I let myself marinate in those emotions a lot. I used to just be there for a long time and marinate in the sense of trying to rationalize the emotions and intellectualize them and making sense of them in the head. Because most of the times what we want to do is to make sense of emotions to feel safe. Why is this happening? There's always this constant question of, why do I feel like this? Why is this happening? Why now? Putting a word on it. Am I sad? Am I angry? Why am I feeling triggered? And so all these questions add up to the stress in your body that is trying to make you feel an emotion, but you're like stressing yourself out with all these questions. And so it can be challenging to process emotions, especially when you recently opened up and it's just like, how do I deal with this? Right? But there are ways to deal with your emotions and to have them under control, if that makes sense, to let them go, to let them come and go, because it's not about controlling your emotions and putting them in a box and making sure that you understand them. Sometimes emotion comes from a long time ago, and it's not even necessary to make sense of it in your brain as long as you feel it. Okay, with emotion is feel it to heal it. It is painful to feel, but it's temporary. If you allow yourself to feel, it's gonna go away. However, you need to be present with that emotion. Being present with that emotion, what does that mean? Finding it in your body. Where is this emotion? Where is it manifesting itself? Where do you feel the tension? Is it in your throat? Is it in your chest? Can you breathe? Is this a heaviness? Where is the heaviness? Identify first where the emotion is inside of your body. If it's in your throat, okay, I feel a knot in my throat. And be present with that. Be present with that contraction. What is this trying to tell you? What is this trying to tell you? Ask the emotion, what are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to say to me? What's the message I need to hear? And allow yourself to hear, allow yourself to receive. Don't feel sorry about yourself, don't feel guilty to feel emotions because it's human. We are here to experience a full spectrum of emotions, from very negative ones to very positive ones. So allow yourself to feel whatever it is. If it's full joy and excitement, feel that full joy and excitement to the fullest of your being. Feel the sensations. And if it's grief and sadness and fear, allow yourself to acknowledge those emotions, because they just want to give you a message. They just want to teach you something. So when you extract the teaching and the lesson, then they can go away. And you will see that the more you allow yourself to feel, the more layers you're going to clear. So the grief, for example, is very big and huge. It's not gonna go away in one setting of you feeling. No, it's going to come and go in waves. But as you learn how to surf and navigate those waves, it's going to be not easier, but it's going to be more familiar to you to feel that and to understand, okay, I am not this emotion is coming. What is this trying to say to me? Where do I feel it? And how can I release it? So the body wants to release the emotions through the body. Allow yourself to cry. Crying is the most important thing you can do for yourself. It's the most important act of healing you can do for yourself. Crying is so healing because it literally cleanses you. If you're not a big crier, you're gonna become one, and it's okay. You can cry of joy, you can cry of sadness. There's so many opportunities to cry. Don't wait to watch a sad movie to cry. If you feel like you need to cry, then go and do it. It's not gonna last forever. It's temporary, and you will feel so much better afterwards. Processing your emotions, feeling your emotions, letting them go is about working with the body to make sure that this emotion can get out. It has an outlet, a way out. So you can cry, you can shake your body, you can tap. A lot of the times when I feel angry, for example, it depends on what emotion I'm feeling, but when I feel angry, I feel it in my chest personally. And so I tap and do sounds. I make sounds with my voice and I tap to let it go. Okay, if you're not comfortable doing this when there's other people around, if you're at the office or whatever, just take a break. Take a break, go for a walk, go inside of your car or somewhere that you will not be disturbed, and just, tap and feel that emotion and make it release it. You're a human being, you're allowed to do this. Give yourself permission to feel, no matter what. In you giving yourself permission to heal, you are going to give so much permission to other people to heal as well and to feel their emotions. Not because they need the permission, but because they see that it's okay, that they can accept themselves as well. So this is as much healing for you that it is for other people if you feel called to share this with other people as well. Crying, shaking, jumping can be really good as well. Jumping, work with your body. Dancing as well is a really useful tool. Dancing however your body wants to, stretching your body, putting yourself down on a yoga mat and just do whatever your body feels called to do. You don't have to follow any guidelines. Your body knows. The more you listen to your body and what it wants to do, your body is the way. It's gonna show you. So just allow yourself to receive. Your mind is not in control when it comes to emotions. That's what you need to understand. Your mind is not in control when it comes to emotions. What's in control is your body. So drop inside of your body, feel inside of your body, and make sure that your body is a safe place for yourself. Your body knows how to heal and how to process emotions and how to let it go. Your body is made for that. This is not a brain job, it's a body job. If you feel like you can't work and you can't focus and you can't do anything, you can't be productive because you're feeling a certain way, because you don't feel good, I'm gonna give you a couple tips that you can apply right now in your life that'll make it easier. What happened for me was that I used to say, if I don't feel good, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do this because I don't feel good today. You know, I woke up, I felt sad, I'm depressed, I am grieving, I don't want to do this, so I'm not gonna do this. And I let myself marinate inside of those feelings for days and days and days, and then it became some really big, huge thing inside of my head, and I started stressing myself out with all these thoughts that came up, because emotion trigger thoughts, and then thoughts trigger emotions, and it was just me being in this ocean of emotions, not being able to do anything and to work. And let me tell you, I felt like I just couldn't function, but I didn't want to shut down my emotions. I also couldn't find a way to function and at the same time feel that what I was feeling. So the first thing I did was understanding that there is a moment to feel my emotions and there is a moment to do what I need to do. And no matter how hard it is, no matter how bad you feel, you can still do the things you need to do, even if it's just the bare minimum, because that's going to make yourself feel better because you're showing up for yourself. So what did I do with this? I allowed myself to feel my emotions in a certain time of day. Whether it's in the morning, in the afternoon, give yourself a moment or one day a week, on a Sunday, on a Saturday, whenever you can. Take one day off at work. Nothing's gonna happen if you take one day off, okay? Take the day off and allow yourself to feel, to grieve, to write everything down, to listen to music and dance, to cry, to jump, to release, to be in your bath and relax, and make sure that you have this moment where you allow yourself to feel. And then give yourself a moment, whether it's in the morning, in the afternoon, whenever you want, give yourself a moment to say, okay, now I need to focus on this. My energy is going to be focused on getting this done. And it's going to allow you to find balance between the moments you are allowed to feel and completely be, and the moments that you need to just be focused on something. Divide your time. Make sure that you find time to do both. Let's take the example of going to the gym. People who go to the gym every single day, no excuses, no matter what, they don't wake up every single day wanting to go to the gym. Sometimes they're sad. Sometimes something happened in their life and they have to make it a priority. So what I'm trying to say is having that discipline of showing up for yourself even when you don't feel like it. What I used to do is, if I don't feel like it, I'm not gonna do it. But then I wasn't getting ahead. I wasn't evolving. I wasn't crushing my goals. I wasn't being the person I needed to be because I don't feel good. And that's just being a victim to your emotions. So it's okay to feel them. It's necessary to give yourself the space to do so. Give yourself a day, one afternoon, one morning, 1 hour, whatever it is that you have time for, and just go all in. And then go all in also on the times where you decide that you're going to focus, you're going to focus. Emotions don't have to take up your whole space. That was something that I needed to learn and that I've learned recently, and I'm still going through that. Sometimes emotions take a lot of space. For me, for example, because I'm a woman and I have a cycle, the last period of my cycle, the last phase of my cycle, I feel very emotional and very sensitive, and I allow myself to feel. I know that these 10 days are for me my cave days. So I don't go out. I don't put a lot of things on my to-do list. I know that this is a time for me to release and to be with myself and to journal and to do some introspection and to just feel and to watch sad movies if I want to. And it's okay, because I know that that time is necessary for me to then clear and release and feel lighter and better and do what I need to do afterwards. So if you're a woman watching this, it's normal if you feel like you fluctuate a lot emotionally during your cycle, especially if you're not taking any birth control or anything, because birth control is just gonna suppress your cycle. But if you're not on birth control and you feel like it's just up and down, let yourself be in those moments, because we can't be productive 24/7. That doesn't make any sense. Rest is necessary for every human being, and especially for women, because our cycle allows us to clear and release. There is a death that is going on. Some things have to die, and this can be relationships, this can be some things at work, this can be old versions of yourself, whatever it is that is wanting to die, just release that. And of course there's gonna be a grieving, and of course there's gonna be some emotions, but you can still function. You can still allow yourself to feel that, and then take another time of your day to kick some ass, because you can do this. We all can do this. So this is a way to feel in control, scheduling time for you to feel, scheduling time for you to kick some ass, be productive, do whatever you need to do. It's gonna make you feel really good, because I kept pushing away and delaying the things that I needed to do, and that made me stress out more, because I was like, oh my god, I didn't do this because I didn't feel good, and then I'll do it tomorrow. But then things accumulate. So the more you show up for yourself, even if you don't feel like it, don't force yourself. Like if you really feel like you need to cry, just go cry and then do whatever you need to do, right? And like, body comes first, always. To me, body comes first. If the body needs to jump and release, and then boom, do your thing. If you feel very activated emotionally, release that with the techniques that I told you, write it down, use your body, and then you'll feel clear enough to go and do the thing you need to do. The other day I had an issue with my bank, and I had to write an email to explain to them what was going on and ask for some refund. I was really stressed out. I got really triggered by that, and I was feeling very angry. I had a lot of rage. I felt really disempowered by the whole situation. And when I was writing the email, I felt myself getting very angry, and so I decided to stop doing what I was doing, and I took 10 minutes to release that anger. I tapped, I had this this drum, so I played the drum. Whatever I needed to do, I danced, and once that energy was out of my body, I took a couple deep breaths, I sat down, and I wrote the email in a peaceful, calm way, sent it out, and the next day everything was clear and fixed. The last thing that I will add to this video regarding how to process overwhelming emotions is talk about it. Talk about it, especially if you are starting to allow yourself to feel, especially if you're a close kind of person. Talking about it with someone you trust is going to make you feel 10 times better. Just being heard and being held by someone is going to validate a lot inside of you. Look around you. There's someone you can talk to in your family, in your friends, someone you just met. Allow yourself to relax and to feel and to have those conversations and to open up about what's going on, because you're not alone. I think our personal experiences are not so personal. Whenever I hang out with my friends and we have deep conversations, it's all a mirror. I feel like this, oh my god, you feel like this too. And I feel much less lonely knowing that you feel like this too. And perhaps there's no solution to this, perhaps it's very painful, but the fact that someone else acknowledges it and someone else is validating you with compassion and with empathy and with love, that really heals. That really makes you feel like you don't have to put everything in your shoulders anymore. And share the pain, share the emotions. You share the good, you share the joy, you share the good moments and the wins. You can also share the moments when you're sad and when you're grieving. It's important to count on other people, especially because we're made for connection. Our environment is everything to us as human beings. Surround yourself with people you can trust. Surround yourself with people who are strong when you're not strong. Surround yourself with people who have your back. Surround yourself with people who know how to listen to you, who practice active listening, who care about you. And if you feel like you don't have that in your environment right now, you can go to therapy, find a coach, find someone that you know is going to be there for you so that you can let that out. Let that out, especially if you feel like your emotions are in here in your throat. Probably it's because you need to voice them out. So many people have not voiced out so many things, and it's important. It is important to find the space where you acknowledge, okay, I'm feeling like this happened, or this happened such a long time ago, and I'm just realizing that this triggered this, and you know, putting the pieces together as well, and sharing it with someone else is also a way to feel like you're supported. You can't count on other people, and that's a part that's very difficult, especially sometimes it's hard to trust people, but when you do, when you find the therapist, the coach, the friend, the new friend, whoever it is, your cousin, your grandma, whoever it is that you can talk to, please go and share. And there is something so healing about someone else witnessing your emotions. So if you're a woman, it is so healing to be witnessed by another woman and to cry together or hold hands together or hug together. It is so healing, and especially also men with other men. When another man can witness what you're feeling and can witness your grief and your shame and your rage and can be there for you, and you can allow yourself to break down in front of someone else that's your same gender. It's beautiful. Something happens that is so healing. I love seeing men going to male retreats and learning how to open their heart and start to feel and be held by other men. I think this is healing the earth. It's healing the planet. You're not alone. You're absolutely not alone. And women too. There is a ton of women's circles and ceremonies that you can go to that's only women who are purely there to show unconditional love and to hold each other, and it is beautiful. Of course, you know, both genders helping each other, but I think the number one thing we need is that acknowledgement from our same gender, from our sacred mother, our sacred father, our sacred sister and brother, and making sure that we have each other as human beings on this earth, because we're all feeling the same emotions. We have different stories, but we're all feeling the same emotions, so sharing it with someone else doesn't feel as heavy anymore. So if you take one thing away from this video, is do not be afraid to get some support. That's the bravest thing you can do. And don't give up on yourself. It's going to get easier and more familiar over time. The more healing you do, the more you will be able to inspire other people, and if you have kids, to show them how to do this. If you're watching this, I'm very proud of you. You got this. If you feel like you need to talk to someone, I put down below a link. It's not sponsored. It's the link I use to find a therapist in your area. It works all around the world. You can choose your therapist by area and by expertise. You can also book a session with me. There's a link also down below. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.